what's up, guys? It's your boy Ruff here today, and this is the first episode of Athlete Spotlight. Still working on the name, but we got my boy Jarek here. I've known him for a while. Known for his posing. Did an amazing job at the Honor Classic. Owner of Flow Nation. We just finished a seminar today, and welcome to the, what's we call it, podcast maybe?
Athlete Spotlight.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. Shit, I'm the first guest, so I feel a little special.
You should.
And for you to call me, opposing extraordinary, that's even better.
Cool.
I'm feeling good, bro.
That's good, man. So basically, what I kind of want to do with this is, there's a lot of other like bodybuilding channels and whatnot, and every time they just ask you what your diet is, what your training's like, stuff like that. I really want to give the people the chance to kind of know a little bit more about you. So, to get started, tell us a little bit about your backstory, kind of, what you did before bodybuilding and what kind of got you into it.
So, really, I was always into sports. Played YMCA before I got really into really organized basketball, like with my high school. I've always been into like fitness and weight training and conditioning, and I'm more of the outdoor type of dude. I had 4 brothers. I lived with 4 brothers, so we always, would be outside, hooping. So I always had a passion. I guess you could say I always had a passion for that kind of lifestyle. And so fast forward, played ball through high school, and from there, kind of just life hit. I hung around in the wrong crowd. You know what I mean? Didn't really have any guidance. Father really wasn't in my life for about 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he left like later in life. He wasn't.
He left when I was 6.
Okay.
He left when I was 6. He got locked up, incarcerated, deported. He's Jamaican. My parents are Jamaican, and so really had no guidance. Hung around the wrong crowd. Got into some things. Just didn't have any direction, honestly, bro. And so the last thing I did have, was weight training, and so. I kind of was just on and off throughout high school, and then when I graduated, I actually moved to Jacksonville.
So, where were you before Jacksonville?
Tampa, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Tampa. So you know about Tampa, yeah.
Yeah,
Tampa's
man,
a
that's
nice
where I'm from, bro.
And are you the oldest brother, youngest brother, middle?
So middle. So I have 3 older brothers, and then actually. Say middle almost, and then I have a younger brother, but I'm also a twin, so I guess that puts me in the middle.
Okay.
Because I'm the older twin.
Okay.
So yeah, he still lives in Tampa now. He lives with my mom, but I go visit them often.
So like, how's your family? Like, y'all close, or like, do you visit?
So I try to see my family at least twice a month. It's kind of yeah. So it's kind of tough, cause like one of those things like, man, I want them to come see me, but
I know exactly what you mean, especially bodybuilding.
Yeah, bro.
Schedule, yeah.
But I don't. My thing is, if I sit there and wait, anything can happen, and I possibly won't be able to see him ever again. Right? So I take the initiative, and I try to go see him as much as I can. But you can say we're close. Yeah.
So you moved out to Jacksonville.
Yeah. So moved out to Jacksonville, met my wife, Malia. Hey, baby.
At what age?
She was 17 at the time, and I believe I was 20. Yeah, so met her right after she graduated, and we weren't really serious until after she graduated. And so we ended up getting a place shortly after. And then kind of going from there, she got a job. I had a 9-to-5, working 2 jobs at the time for a couple of years, just trying to make ends meet. I didn't want to go back home because back home, it was just not stable. Being in a broken home is never stable. I mean, I wouldn't say it's never stable, but it's not always a pretty situation. So I wanted to make it on my own, and kind of just one thing led to another. Um, and then, bodybuilding just came about then,
How did it kind of happen?
So I used to go to UFIT, and I knew an older dude who was competing at the time, and I had no idea, bro. I had no idea what bodybuilding was. This was in 2016, I believe, or late 2015, right? So let's fast forward about 3-4 years, right? And so he shows me, these videos, these photos of competitions, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm about to compete next weekend. Da, 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 da. He's like over 40, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, shit. If he can do it, bro, you know what I'm saying? I might as well just give it a try. I've been training like since I've graduated. So one thing led to another. I did my first competition actually at the Dexter Jackson Classic in 2016, and placed overall. And then from there, I just kind of went with it. Yeah.
How did your family feel when you told them about bodybuilding? Were they supportive? How were they?
They really weren't into it. Like, I wouldn't say they weren't supportive, but it wasn't even something that I was like, I was like, hey mom, bodybuilding, like, hey dad, I'm bodybuilding. It wasn't even like that. I kind of just give it a try. It's nothing crazy.
Okay.
But then when it really got serious, then they were like, oh, okay. Body started changing, they started noticing things, and so.
What's it like balancing, like, being a father, being a husband, and competing?
And to be honest with you, like, it's rough. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's I would say, just still learning that aspect, really, bro. Trying to create that balance, because I don't think that it's impossible to really find that balance. You gotta really create that balance. So, one of the things I've done is give maybe like a day or two away from just bodybuilding and the computer, like even like step in the office, and I just kind of give them my time, and because although I work from home, I can just be like coaching. You know how it is, coaching, bodybuilding, nutrition, training.
And everything that's important, yeah, definitely. I tell a lot of my clients that are in relationships, like, because a lot of times it's a big complaint I hear with married people is like, oh, my wife's upset because we haven't had any time together, and I'm like, well, you gotta rest day off from the gym, you got a cheat meal, in all season, take her out to eat,
So that's what I try to do. Like on Saturdays, I'll take her out to eat, or actually I'll cook. I'm a pretty good cook.
Even better, yeah.
I'm a pretty good cook. I cook anywhere between, jerk chicken, rice and peas, stewed fish.
So mama taught you how to cook some Jamaican food. That's dope.
I be throwing it down, bro. I be throwing it down. So I'll cook her some food on Saturdays, sometimes where I take her out. And then my daughter, she's ball of joy, boy. I love her to death. She's something else, man. She's 3 now.
Oh my gosh.
She's a character, bro.
So she was born right when you when you started bodybuilding.
She was born in 2018.
So about 3 years after you started. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 2018.
Did she compete that year she was born, like the first year or two?
Yeah.
Okay.
I competed 2016, 2017, and 2018. And then I took off 2018.
Okay.
And I competed 2019. Yeah, it was tough, bro. It was tough, but one thing is, Malia, she was very supportive. That's one thing. She was very supportive. If it wasn't for her, like, being there, 100% of the time, and trying to take care of the baby while I'm still trying to pursue, my passion, like, I'm forever indebted, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Imagine somebody just putting their life on hold, like, go pursue what you want to pursue. Like, thank you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I think it's paying off now. She made the right move. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that actually pushed me day in, day out. It's like, we sacrifice too much for me to just, bullshit.
That's the thing, man. People a lot of times they ask, like, how do you stay motivated to bodybuild? But at the end of the day, for us, it's like a job. It's like, if we don't do this, we're not putting food on the table. We're not providing for our families, So I definitely think that's a really good thing that drives people forward, for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I think what something that really we have in common, or anybody who wants to be at the highest level have in common, is just that intrinsic motivation too. Like, although yeah, it's a job, but we love this shit. Like, I think without that intrinsic motivation, everything else would be temporary.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I think that's a part of it too.
What'd you do before? So now you do posing coaching, you coach people, you have a clothing line, a legitimate business. What'd you do before you built that?
Before Flo came about?
Yeah.
Like I said, just 9 to 5.
9 to 5?
9 to 5, bro. 9 to 5.
What kind of 9 to 5?
So I worked at UPS.
Yeah.
I worked at AMC. I worked at Applebee's. Harbor Freight Tools.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been in probably every retail you can think of. And one thing that was in common with all of those places, I couldn't stay there for that long. Just wasn't for me, you know what I mean? And I had to figure something out. And I think that was a process of me finding myself, you know what I'm saying? And then when bodybuilding came about and the whole posing aspect, classic came about, it's almost like that was like my calling, like, all right, we're ready for it, you know what I'm saying? So ever since then, bro, I just started coaching on the side as well. I still had a job. I forgot what job I had at that time. I think it was UPS was the last job I had, and I was hanging on to that the longest because they had good benefits. And so I was coaching on the side, posing coaching, and then I still had UPS bringing income until I felt like I was good enough to sustain.
Was that a hard decision to leave like a 9 to 5 and completely just rely on your own like business?
Definitely.
Yeah. Did you like talk to your wife or your family about it?
Yeah, and she was working at the time too. She was working at City, so she making pretty good money. So even if say it would have flopped, she was making enough to where at least we could build big. You know what I mean? So it wasn't nothing like I had nothing left on the table if I was to lose it. So and again, that's where she came in and was supportive. So but fortunately, I just with perseverance and consistency, I just kept going, bro. Kept going, and that's how Flow was kind of birthed. And a little bit after UPS, I actually was working for a coaching company in Orlando, Bombshell Fitness.
Yeah.
But they're cool people. I appreciate the opportunity that they gave me. I learned a lot from them. I just feel like I needed to grow, and it just wasn't a place at that time for me to elevate. So I decided to part ways, and it was a mutual agreement, and that's when Flow came about. You know what I mean? Literally just left that.
So basically what I'm understanding is you don't like working for people.
I don't.
You like to do your own thing.
Yeah,
that's
pretty much.
That's good, man. It's good that you find that you're able to do that now.
And I really want to create an environment, though, that nobody feels that way also, right? So, and that's a lot of times I express to like Jacob and Monique, who's also full posing coaches, like this is a team. Okay. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't own you. You know what I'm saying? We're a team. We all have the same rates. Okay. It's nothing like that. So, I guess that's crazy. Now that I'm really thinking about it, it's crazy how our past experiences kind of mold, who you are. But
I think that's awesome, man. You went from working 9 to 5 to being able to support your family doing what you love to do. That's everyone's dream, man. Let's talk about a little bit more about why you made Flow Nation. Kind of what led to that specifically.
So, like I said, I worked for Bombshell, and when we parted ways, there was a situation where I wasn't able to coach under the contract. I wasn't able to coach for a certain amount of years.
Yeah.
If I broke the term, and I really believed in myself, and I went with it.
But why not do, let's just say, personal training or I don't know, something else? Why?
So it's, bro, and I see it in you too sometimes. I don't know if it's true, but like if I don't like what I do, I'm gonna stop doing it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if it's not making me happy, you know, if I'm dreading about it, like I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
I know some people can just stick it out, but I'm not. I gotta be real with myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not working out. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
So, you know, that's pretty much what it was. I didn't like personal training. Like, I didn't want to be in a facility, you know, counting reps, and you know, although you can learn a lot from personal training, but also there are a lot of resources out there that can teach you as well. So I kind of took that route, and I wanted to apply that, you know, to people without having to actually be there, physically touching them and counting reps, right? So that's the reason I didn't do personal training, and then just based on my standards, the way things were handled, it just wasn't me. And if my principles don't line up with your principles of business or entity, I cannot affiliate myself with you.
Okay.
So that's how that came about. And, you know, I was making good money. You know, I was making, you know, a little $2,000 a month, you know. And it wasn't worth it at the end of the day. You know, no amount of money, you know, can bring my happiness, honestly. So.
Okay. So you decided to do posing, and I imagine it's because, like you said, you only want to do what you like to do.
Yeah.
So what draws you? Why do you like posing? What got you into posing, in particular?
So, I was doing men's physique when I first started competing.
All right.
And for some reason, it just dawned on me. I was like, man, that's it? Front and back pose?
This is all I get to do? Okay.
I was like, no disrespect, because they're really dope men's physique guys.
I got men's physique friends. Yo, they know. Y'all do like 3 poses. You know.
You're about to have no men's physique guys on this series. So there's really some good routines out there now. Like it's starting to evolve, man. I love to see that. But at the time in 2016, it was very basic. Okay. And so Classic came out shortly after that. But I didn't compete in Classic that first year it came out. But everybody kept telling me, like, Jay, you got legs, man. At least just try it out. I was like, nah. I mean, I'm already men's physique. I'm doing pretty good. The place overall, you know, like, you know. But I still was like bored with the presentation aspect. So I decided, I think my 3rd show, I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna cross over and see how it goes. Didn't put a routine together. You know, I played with some poses. I looked online. You know, looked at old school bodybuilding poses and stuff like that.
What's your favorite old school bodybuilder?
Muhammad Makawi. I always mess up his last name.
He's dope.
Lila Brada. I always lose their names, bro. Barry DeMay.
Yeah.
I can keep going. It's just their names are so weird.
I feel like most of the dudes in the 80s, you could throw a rock and then you would land on a good pose back in the 80s, for sure.
Yeah, so I watched those videos, and then I think at the time you were still kind of were you just coming up at that time?
I think everyone started to notice my posing in 2018.
2018,
yeah. That was the first big.
I think that's when I did my 3rd or 4th show around that time. So you kind of started coming up. I would watch the videos, not like I used to, like I do now.
Yeah.
There's so much, like, your posing has just, you know, just evolved, bro. And I seen when you started, which is crazy, because I seen when you started, and to see you now is crazy. But anyway, so I would just kind of put together my own thing, just looking at these different resources, right? Yeah. And so I went on stage, first class show, and I freestyled my routine, and the crowd loved it, bro. And they were like applauding, and you know, it's like
is it on YouTube?
I gotta find it. It should be on my Facebook.
Okay, we gotta find that video.
Now when I look back at it, I'm like,
yep, you hate it. You're like, yo, what was I doing?
At the time, I'm like, yeah. You know, I'm walking off stage with a chip on my shoulder, but you know, from that point on, I kid you not, bro. That show I placed 2nd in class in Classic, and I took overall in men's physique, and I quit men's physique that day.
Damn.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
And I never went back to men's physique.
Okay.
So that's how that shit started. And I just fell in love with it. I just kept honing on my craft, bro. I just just fell in love with that aspect of bodybuilding.
Okay.
You know?
So what kind of mindset do you have like when it comes to just overall bodybuilding, and then kind of when so overall bodybuilding, what's kind of your overall like mantra mindset, and then also on top of that, what's kind of your mindset when it comes to competing on stage? Because personally, I think you got bodybuilding, which is like a lifestyle. You eat, you train, whatnot, and then competitive bodybuilding is like a separate thing because you have to be on stage against other people. You know what I mean? So I think it's slightly different mindsets when you're approaching like
approaching a show, closer to a show.
Closer to a show, whether it's just compared to like an off-season type deal.
Yeah. So I say my mindset in like an improvement season or just like on a day-to-day basis is trying not to, I guess, feel like a robot. Because I swear sometimes it just gets to the point where you just feel like it's a process that you do day in, day out, which it is. So just trying to think about it in a different perspective. Just life in general, like what I'm grateful for, what I do have, and the support team I have around me, and just just taking a whole other outlook on it, rather than dwelling in the bad side of it, I guess, so to say. And then from there, when prep comes around, honestly, it's MJ, it's the MJ mindset. I gave y'all time. You know what I'm saying?
That's the way it's gotta be.
I gave y'all time, and all right, now it's tunnel vision now, and you have to be that way. Like, I don't want to know any like elite athlete in any sport that doesn't have that mindset. You know what I mean?
I definitely do, man. Yeah.
I don't know any elite, like, you can't tell me any elite athlete in any sport that doesn't have that mindset.
It's funny, man. Like, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts on mindset when it comes to different athletes, and it's really similar. So, like, they talk about confidence, like, so basically, like, or mindset. So, like, when I was saying earlier in the seminar, you have to be, I think most of the year, like, you have to be like an optimistic realist. You have to be real yourself, but also optimistic. Real enough with yourself to know I need to make improvement, but optimistic enough to know that you can make those improvements. But when it comes close to game time, you have to take that optimism all the way up to like that confidence all the way to like borderline delusion, where you think you the best motherfucker coming out there, the best dude on stage, no matter who you're competing against, because you need to have that confidence when you go on stage. You can't go into a show or to a fight or on a court without thinking you're the best, because they'll get in your head and you won't perform as well as you should.
Yeah. I think, and I read this book. I think you probably read it too. It's called Winning by Tim Grover.
Winning by Tim Grover.
Yeah, bro. Read that. Because everything you're saying right now is pretty much a relentless mindset. That's what he calls it.
Yeah. The thing I noticed too, they mentioned though, is like you have to know when to turn that off. Because if you're like game mode all the time, you're basically an asshole with an ego, and no one wants to be your friend anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy that you say that, because I just got done reading that book not too long ago, and they kind of they based it off of Michael Jordan's life and how they carried out day-to-day routine. So another big thing with that mindset is routine. Every elite athlete has a set routine day in, day out when they get ready for the big show. Mm-hmm. Like, and if you fucking that up, then
Yeah. I think you're right, man. I definitely think you're right. Yeah, definitely.
So that's the mindset. Like, I have a set routine. I don't need to be bothered, and it's just that relentless mindset. I have no excuses. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no excuses at all. Like, I don't care what it is. It could be raining. It could be hail, sleet, snow. Shit got to be done.
So say for instance, you got a family, you got a business to run.
Yeah.
Obviously, is there any moment in the day where one of those things interferes with your routine, and if so, what do you do?
So I adapt.
Okay.
That's what a relentless mindset
Does it stress
yeah.
you out at all, or do you
Oh,
just
of
you
course.
just keep okay?
Of course. Like I would be unrealistic to say it doesn't stress me out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I have no choice but to adapt to the situation. So, you know, you figure out a routine around that. You know, when it comes. You know, that's the best answer I can give you. You know what I mean? Because I know you've probably been through that before. You know, you know what I mean, and what you had to do, you just adapted, and man, you adapted big time. You know,
you figure out
for this
a way.
last Arnold. Shit.
You gotta figure out a way, man, to make
You know what I'm saying?
You know, back when COVID first hit in 2020 and all the gyms were closed, I noticed a lot of the top athletes found ways to get something done. Whether it was, if you got money like Chris, he just bought all this equipment. He bought really nice equipment, put it in his basement. He trained out of him and Ian. Myself, I rented a storage unit and bought
I seen those episodes too.
Yeah. Bought the storage unit. I found a dude that sold gyms for like 20 cents a pound. Bought enough for me, and I made that work. It was hot as hell in that storage unit, but you know, you did what you had to do. You had a couple other guys. They had, you know, connections, got in the gym, stuck in the gym. But you know, you like you said, man, you find ways to make it work when you need to make it work. Sure.
Yeah.
Last question for. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's what separates, you know, the elite from, you know, the average athlete.
100%.
You know, because they always find something that, you know, stops them from moving forward. There's always something.
It's always something.
You know what I mean? But
I definitely, man. It's so funny. Sometimes I hear people saying, "Oh, I can't bodybuild because of this or that." And you know, as a coach, I'm like, I got people with like 4 kids. I got people that do construction for 12 hours. I got people all types of lifestyles.
it's like you don't want to say nothing. Like you
I
don't
say anything.
You don't like spit it in their face. Like
not at all.
Joe Schmo over here is like shitting on you. Like, are you talking about?
So, last question, man. What are your goals? Business, bodybuilding life coming up in the next couple of years, and kind of what are you doing to reach those goals?
So goals the next couple of years, I would say Arnold Classic champ, and you know, top 5 at Olympia, being realistic. And as far as business goes, I see my roster flooded, you know, and trying to maintain it and adapt to that situation. There's a lot of work as is, and then for the posing aspect, just doing more seminars, possibly doing more intimate, higher level posing sessions, where it's just maybe a minimum slots, like maybe five people at a time, just really getting depth and more advanced with it, and just, you know, make sure my supporters and my team is doing well, you know, like, and the main thing is just building that credibility in the next couple of years. So that's the goal right now, and obviously those things can change over time, but the steps taken towards that is just being relentless and making sure I'm moving with intent, you know, talking with intent, acting with intent, behind the ladder, right? So I'm not gonna do anything, right, that's not productive towards where I'm trying to head.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell.
I like that, man. I definitely like the part you said, making sure the people around you are doing well too.
Yeah.
It's this song JC did saying he measures success by how many people are successful around that person, not just that one person.
Exactly.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Ultimately, like, if they're successful, then, you know, I'm successful. You see what I'm saying? Because there's enough money in this world. There's enough for everybody to live a fulfilling life. Like, I don't see why it should just be solely on one person, for just one person. You know what I'm saying?
So a lot of people may not know this. They probably should know this. You did the Arnold. I didn't mean it, but that's not what the part they should know. That's not the part I'm talking about. He did the Arnold last year, but the part that people may not know is he's taking an extended period off so he can reach that goal of winning the Arnold in the future. So, and that could definitely be difficult. I know when I took that time off, things that kind of ran through my mind is like, oh man, am I gonna be forgotten? Is this off season actually gonna work? Am I actually gonna grow? What do I do in the meantime? You know, those are some of the thoughts I had going into it. I was pretty sure about the decision, but it still was a tough decision to make, to just take an extended period of time off from the stage. You know.
Yeah, it was tough. Like I was still delusional. I was in that delusional state,
yeah.
right? And I'm telling Cameron, I'm like, all right, yeah. So the Kentucky promoter just called me and said he wants me to come do the show. It's 2 weeks away. Fuck it, let's do it. And this was like leading up to the Arnold. Actually, I think we're like a couple days out.
Oh wow.
I was actually at the hotel.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to do this. I'm calling Malia's mom. Well, she called her mom. I told Malia about it. He was trying to, you know, I think it was 4,000. That's when like that mentality kind of turned off, switch turned off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I had to really sit back and think about my goals, think about where I'm headed, and the steps that I needed to take to get there. And I'm like, what is this show really gonna do for me in the long term?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might make $4,000, but I can pay rent for 4 months and then what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? Nah, we're gonna sit this one out. I want to get healthy. You know, I was on a long run, bro. I don't know if you know, bro. I did Chicago Pro, and then I did the Texas 7-8 weeks after that. Which at that time I was beat down. You can even see my physique. Then we took a break, but they called me to do a guest posing shortly after that, so I stayed tight. Did the guest posing in Atlanta. Then we finally felt like we had a break, and next thing you know, I get invited to the Arnold. I'm like, well, I can't turn that down.
Yeah.
Like,
That's,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
a big
Like,
deal, man.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to compete again. Like,
Yeah, you never know. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, Cameron, like, yeah, you're right. Like, we need to do this. This could definitely put us in a good position, even if you know, obviously, you know, I'm not gonna beat Ruff Diesel or being realistic. Like, you gotta be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But this would be a good business decision. So we did it, man, and it actually turned out pretty good. It was a rough prep, man. And so if you think about it, from Chicago Pro straight to
when is the
Chicago Pro was in 2020, bro. I went straight to September 2020.
What month is it?
It was October 2020.
October 2020 to
September 2021.
A full year.
Bro. And people complaining about, bro, it's 6 weeks, man. I can't do this. You know, it's like, man, like if you really want something, like, and if you're really passionate about it, man.
Now I get why you want to. You probably have to take a break, to be honest with you. Like,
yeah, bro.
It's a long time.
So, you know, and you gotta think about how hard that is, bro, to hold that.
Physically, mentally, yeah, a lot, man.
I almost lost my family, bro. Like, I almost got divorced. Dude. Like, to be real with you, like, let's keep it 100, man. This is the first segment. We're gonna keep it 100 from the jump. You know what I'm saying? You know, we almost got divorced because of that. Like, it was getting bad. The household was building up a lot of tension. Let's talk about the downside about bodybuilding, right? Like, it can be really, really stressful.
You can get
really, in the home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't realize it. Like, you're putting all this time and energy into like unrealistic goals, right? For what? To lose friends and family. Why don't you really take a chance, take a step back and really think realistically? Like, okay, where is my physique now, and what am I capable of accomplishing? Right?
Yeah.
Am I really gonna build 10 pounds of muscle these next 8 weeks?
I know exactly.
And then jump back on stage? Like, let's be realistic. Like, look at the human anatomy. Like, read a biology book. I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't get it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Yeah, it's the time. 2 years is it might be 3, you know, but we're saying 2 now.
2 years, okay. 2 years. That's wild. 2 years off, but I think that's important, man. I definitely think bodybuilding sometimes can consume people too much, to the point, like you said, where they cut off friends and family, and then at the end of the day, when the show's over, they don't have anyone else in their lives. You know, so I definitely think, you made the right decision, man. taking some time off, spending with your daughter. You know, you want to be there for those early years.
It's critical years right now.
Yeah. So that's good, man. That's good. Well, man, I'm glad I had you on. It's a fun episode.
I appreciate you for having me, bro. Hey, it was a dope ass day today. Y'all don't understand, man. It made my day today. It was dope.
You want to shout out anything, plug anything real quick?
Follow Coach by Flo at Coached by Flo.
Boom.
This is the only guy I recommend proposing. Like, people ask me, that's the only person.
Because he's the man.
Yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's dead right now, but I can use some subscribers.
But go do it.
Subscribe. It's coming.
Subscribe so that when he's not dead on it, it's time to watch.
It's JAREKCREW.
Oh, it's going to be in the description, you know.
Okay. Here somewhere.
Well, shoot, man, that's been a athlete spotlight of I don't know, of today. Till next time, peace. Oh.